So back when we set up the .on file, I said we'd be returning to it when it came time to make the actual production build. And I have here on the screen in front of me, and there's a link to this in the course resources for this lecture, the cli.vue.js.org documentation on modes and environment variables. And as you can see, the .on file, actually you can have multiple .on files. So down here, it says you can have .onv, which is always loaded, .onv.local, which is loaded in all cases but ignored by Git, and then you can have .onv.mode, so production or development or whatever mode you want. So it's pretty straightforward, but if you get on a little bit further, it talks about, let's see where it is, loading priorities, right here. A .on file for a specific mode, for example, onv.production, will take higher priority than a generic one, .onv. That means I can create a .onv production and use that when I'm building for production. So we could do something like this. Let's go back to our front-end code, and let's have a look at our .on file right here. So we only have 2 entries. And just as a note, I should have mentioned this a moment ago, but you probably saw this big warning. Do not store any secrets such as private API keys in your app. Environment variables are embedded into the build, meaning everyone can view them by inspecting your app's files. So don't do that. If you have something that needs to be secret, like an API key, for example, there's no problem putting it into the environment, but don't put it into your .on file, okay? So let's go back over here and look at what we have in our .on file. We only have 2 entries. And of course, these are for development. So I could do something like this. At the same level as the .on file, I'll create a new file called .onv.production. And then I could copy what's in here, .onv, and paste it into production and just overwrite it with new URLs. Now I'll leave them the same because I'm not actually going to put this on a remote server. But the point is, when I run that command to build the file, and you can see the command right here in package.json, it's right up here in the script section. Build says run vue-cli-service space build. I could just add, as it says in the documentation here, right down in the example staging mode, it says just add -- mode and whatever your environment is here, staging. So I could go back over here and put -- mode production, which may be the default. I've never bothered to look it up. I always just put this in here. So now, when I do that, when I actually build the application, it will see -- mode production and use the values in here, .onv.production, instead of the values that are in here. Okay? So that's how loading priorities work. So that's how we're going to build our application. And we'll actually build the application in the next lecture.